Okay. Well, we want to visit with you about Chief Red Cloud because he's one of the tribute tiles on the Centennial Mall revitalization. So we kind of like this to be personal things that you want to share about the significance. Uh, and I know you were instrumental in getting him inducted into the Hall of Fame of Nebraska. So why did you feel he was worthy to? A lot of people say to me, why is Oglala Sioux in the Nebraska Hall of Fame? So why, Chuck?
Well, of course, he was born, uh, it's questionable, either in 1821 or 1822. But one of the interesting things I was reading is that in 1821, there was a huge meteor and that lit up the sky. And so Red Cloud's name is Mahpi Aluta, which is either red cloud or red sky. The name is both. And he was born near North Platte, down along the Republican River, I believe it is. And I was asked when I was promoting him for the Hall of Fame, he said, was he a Nebraskan? And I said, he was your landlord for a long time. He owned western Nebraska. And, but, you know, the Sioux, that was a good hunting grounds for both the rosebuds, the brulets, and the oglalas hunted, you know, down in western Nebraska, and that's where they had all their fights with the Pawnees, because there was a lot of disputed hunting territory down there. But Red Cloud was a great warrior. He was a great leader from his early years on, and he pretty much won, or it was really his strategizing and his leadership that won for the Indians the Red Cloud's War that shut the Bozeman Trail. And after they signed the peace treaty, which really signaled their surrender to him, to his forces, he burned the forts as they left. And that was the only time in history that the U.S. Army was, you know, had to really admit defeat and get out of Indian territory. And so he led that. And then after the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868, he wanted to live, you know, live up to his promises in the treaty, and to cease warfare and to work for peace. And he also really saw what was in the future, that there, you know, warfare was totally out, you know, because you couldn't sustain your people in the field. You know, when the Lakotas went on a huge hunt or anything, they took their families, and they had to feed them, and all. And so with the buffalo herds pretty much gone, pretty much decimated, by then Crazy Horse stayed out for a while, but ultimately he had to come in as well with his people because they just couldn't do it. And so Red Cloud saw that and really worked for the best things for his people, including schools. And I graduated from Catholic Indian Mission School that he specifically asked be located there. He invited the Black Robes, as he called them, to teach there. And it's Red Cloud Indian School now. But he saw that as, you know, he needed to make the best he could for his people through that transition. Warfare was just no longer even an option, even for short-term And as a matter of fact, when Custer was defeated up in Montana, it wasn't a war party that he went against. It was, they were up there for a huge buffalo hunt, and the forces of the Sioux and Arapaho and Cheyenne, Custer rode right into it and got beat up pretty bad. But I think that's where Red Cloud showed statesmanship for one thing. He went back east many times to Washington and also up into Philadelphia and New York and places like that to make his appeal. He knew that if he appealed to the public, they would pressure Congress and for better provisions and to live up to their treaties. And he was very good at that. I have a book done by Eli Paul who wrote the autobiography of Red Cloud. But Red Cloud was the most photographed individual, second only to Abraham Lincoln in U.S. history. And he saw he made a wonderful presence, He was a large, tall man, and with all of his regalia when he was there, he attracted a lot of attention, and he knew that. And he was an eloquent speaker. And so when his words were translated, they were words of real wisdom, and they made an awful lot of sense. Things he was asking for that were called for in the treaties. So I think that after his great life as a warrior, leader, and provider for his people, he turned into a real statesman for them at a very critical time when they're entering into a new world, really. So it was very important to them.
Well, that was pretty good.
Yes, it was. You covered a lot.
Everything else is a bonus, I think.
Anything else you say, I love it.